Hey guys, it's Kat and I'm back today for my June check-in for my team project pan. So I will link down in the description box like the past ones I've done and like the introduction. So if you're not familiar with what this series is all about, there's more details in there, but just quickly, it is a rolling project pan. It's full face, so as I use up a product, I'm going to be introducing a new thing in to replace it. And for people that are new to project pans, this is pretty much a way to encourage yourself to start using up products in your collection that you no longer want, that are getting old, or that you've nearly finished, but you just want to give a little bit more dedication to. This is a really great way to start using up products instead of just having foundations like taking over a drawer and like a foundation graveyard. If you start working through them, you can be quite surprised at how quickly you use up some of this makeup, which is great. So that's what project pans are all about. And I will start with the products that I've actually used up since last month. All right, I've actually used up 3 things, which I was a bit surprised by. The first one, I sort of predicted that I would use it up, I'm pretty sure. It's my Shape Tape Concealer. This shade is way too light for me, as you can see. So this was a bit of a pain in the ass to use up. I sort of used it lightening other foundations that were a bit deeper as we're getting into winter. You know, some of my foundations that I was using in summer are too dark. So I've been adding this to it. I have been using it under my eyes, but sort of if I don't work it into my foundation well enough, it sort of looks really light and really ridiculous. But I don't know if you can see, but I can't get any more out of it. I did take the stopper out. And besides the stuff that's stuck around the wand and right down the bottom that the wand doesn't reach, everything else is cleared out. I'm not sure if you can see that properly. I might zoom in. So hopefully you can see that that is like cleared out. Now, if I was dedicated to using every single scrap of it, I would get a little spatula and I would probably get the product down the bottom, because you would find that there is maybe even a week's worth of product down there, but I'm not that dedicated to the cause. So that one is done. And just for completion's sake, last check-in, that one weighed 21.99 grams and now it weighs 19.41. That is with the stopper. I did keep the little stopper to weigh it. So that is pretty much how much it weighs when it's done. The next thing is done, and I also predicted this because I was using this up pretty fast, is the Pixi. This is a makeup fixing mist with rose water and green tea. I did enjoy this. So you can see on the side down here, I introduced it up here. 1 month check-in, I used up nearly half of the bottle. Then I was down to there at the 2nd month and I've used it up. Now I have decided to replace this with another Pixi product. I had, I think, one of each of their mists and I had them in my drawer for a while and I thought this year I want to get through them. And so I'm targeting the Hydrating Milky Mist. Now I love this stuff to the point that I introduced this, I think, a week ago. So it was full when I actually took this out of my drawer. But in the last week, I have been using it so much. I even use it when I'm not wearing makeup because it really helps hydrate my skin. And, you know, it is cooler weather in Australia now. So this has been beautiful. This is my favorite out of the 3 that I used. It's gorgeous. The mist is like pretty fine as well. And it's, I don't know, there's something really fresh and beautiful about it. So this will be going really fast because I haven't even marked it and I'm already down to there. So I figure this will be done in a month or 2 because I dig it. So it's got hyaluronic acid in it and black oat and it is beautiful. It's definitely my favorite out of the bunch. So this has been a pleasure to use. The last thing I used up, and you probably won't believe me. You probably won't believe me. It's this little guy from Laura Mercier. It's a mini caviar stick. Now, I had this in my category of like eyeshadow primers, which is not the case. It's a stick eyeshadow. And I decided to use this up pretty quickly because it had actually broken in the tube. So it was sort of loose sitting in there. And I sort of squidged it back in and I thought, oh, I've got to dedicate some time to using it up because otherwise it's going to fall out and go on my carpet and cause a headache. So over a period about a week or 2, often I would apply this as my base. It was a very, very metallic. It was very, very bold. And then I'd put like an eyeshadow, like a taupe eyeshadow over the top. And I use that up. So that is great. I'll have a photo on the screen of where it was like at last check-in. So I'm really happy with that. And to replace that, I've decided to actually go for an eyeshadow primer, not just an eyeshadow stick product. And this is the Bare Minerals Gen Nude. It's the eyeshadow and primer, and this is in the shade Lit. Now, I have been using this a bit. I actually was looking at it before, and I will weigh it before so I can know where it started. But I did see before that there were sort of scrape marks around the side. So this is not completely full. I've had this for probably about a year now. And the reason I'm focusing on it is because I don't hate it as a primer, but I don't love it. I find the NARS ones work better than this. And because I have a couple of those shades, I just tend to prefer to reach for those. So this is something that, even though it's not horrible, it's not my favorite. And if I can use it up before it goes off, why not? And then I'll move back to the primers that I want to use. So yeah, this one I will weigh and introduce from now on. I totally forgot to mention the concealer that's replacing Shape Tape. The one that I currently have open, I don't really want to use that as a Project Pan product because I opened it like a month ago or 2 months ago. So what I've decided to use up instead is this concealer. This is my Maybelline Master Conceal Camouflage Concealer in the shade Fair. So once again, this is not my shade. It's way too light for me, but I love using this to lighten foundations that are currently too dark for me. So this is something that I pull out generally every winter, and I just use my same foundations but tweak them. So this is going to be the concealer I'm going to focus on. This is pretty empty. I will weigh this, but there's not much product in it. So I feel like if I do use this with slightly darker foundations, I should use it in the next couple of months, which would be great. And then I'll introduce another concealer that I've had around for a while. So that's coming in. All right, onto products that I'm doing well on. I am doing well on my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Poreless Finish Airbrush Powder. I've said this multiple times. I don't love this powder. It's just a little bit too drying for me, and it doesn't work the best under my eyes. So what I have been using it on my face, and it's fine. Like if I put it on and I spray, you know, the hydrating spray, it's fine. I just don't love it, and I wouldn't repurchase it. I did have to take the stopper out though because it was getting too hard to remove. So I was like turning it upside down and tapping the crap out of it, and then this would pop out anyway, and I'm like, fine, off you go. So I can actually see how much product's in it. I was hoping to get it done before this video, but it will be done by next check-in, which is great. So there's not much product in there at all. I did weigh this, so I'm going to weigh it now with the little stopper. So when I checked in last time, it was 33.1 grams. Now it's 30.77 grams. So I've got very little left, which is fantastic. Another product I'm doing pretty well on, but this has been in since the start of the year, so it is a long-term product, but I think by next check-in it should be done. It's my Benefit Goof Proof eyebrow pencil in the shade 4.5. I really like this. The more I use it, the more I dig it. I do find that I need to sort of put it on and then correct it with an angled brush because otherwise my brows look a little bit too block brow-ish, but I really like the color. I really like the formula, and that is how much product I have left. I don't know if you can see that. Wait, can you see how little there is? So there'll be a photo on the screen of where I was at last month. So it's just a little baby nib left, and I should be done by next month. I hit a bit of a snag with my Hoola bronzer. So Hoola bronzer, last time I'd hit quite a lot of pan, and the pan is probably growing, but I've found that the box was limiting my ability to get the product. My brush just wouldn't really pick up the product around the sides because the box was in the way, so I pulled this out. So I only pulled this out yesterday, so I think I sort of hit a bit of a plateau with it while I was trying to use it in the box, but I'm hoping that now that it's out, I should be able to use it a lot more freely, and hopefully by next month there'll be quite a lot of usage there. All right, I feel like I've done some good progress on these two products. So my primer is the Benefit Professional Primer. I'll check what the weight is. So last time it was 21.23 grams, now it's 15.45. Compared to the last one that I panned, it seems like around the 10 gram mark, it's empty. So I'm nearly there. I'm making decent progress. I'm hoping to use this up by next month so I can cycle in a new primer. It does feel pretty empty. Like it's just, if I start squeezing out the air, hang on, let's do it. So I can't squeeze out the air permanently because it just comes back in. But if I squeeze out the air, it sort of looks like this. And then it starts filling back up with air. Annoying, but nearly done. I introduced this sort of skincare barrier cream and I have used it as a hand cream a few times. I've also used it on my face a few times. If I've done my sort of skincare routine at night and I sort of feel like there's not enough hydration because it's getting quite cool, and sometimes I'm not in the habit of like putting thick moisturizers on. Sometimes I'll sit down at my computer and I'll be like, oh, I should put this on. So that's what I've sort of been doing. And this one, when I introduced it last month, it was at 48.76 grams and now it's at 35.82 grams. So I have used quite a lot of it and I do enjoy using it, which is great. Some other products that I have been using, but I don't know if I've seen progress too much. Firstly, I've got the Smashbox. This is the sort of bronzer contour stick that I introduced last month. Oh, don't drop it. Oh, now I got contour on my pants. Anyway, I'm not too sure the progress, but I will have a photo on the screen of where it was last month. And I have used, like I have sharpened this a couple of times. So I do feel like it's going down. Whether it's going down a lot, I'm not too sure. But I will start judging where it says step by step. So it hasn't quite hit that yet. So yeah, I've been using this a little bit. I mainly use it, like I said, when I use the stick foundation that's in this project pan. So this guy by Lancome. But I just haven't been using it as much as I think I did last month, if that makes sense. So I do pair these together. It's just sort of slow going. I have been testing some new foundations. So this sort of takes a back burner. I'm not wearing it today, for example. But let's move on to the stick foundation. So this is, I think I've used a bit. I feel like I've used a bit. So I haven't used this for about a week, but I feel like the little nub's gone down a lot. I don't know if it has. I feel like it has, but there's really not too much left to go. And once again, I'm hoping to use this up by next sort of refresh. So next quarterly refresh, which is next month. Okay, 3 lip products that I feel like I use all the time, but I don't know if I'm seeing progress. I'll know when I'm editing this and I put the photos side by side. But this is the lip balm that I introduced last month. So this is a watermelon lip balm. I finished my peppermint one last month and this is this one. Now, I don't know, you'll be able to see on the screen if I've used a lot. I feel like I've used a lot, but I also can't really tell. So you can decide. Then last month I mentioned that I hadn't been using the lipstick too much. This is the Colourpop Lippie stick. And I said that it was in my handbag and I kept forgetting to reach for it. Whereas I've put it now on my makeup table and I reach for it all the time. So I'm wearing it today. I wear it in most of my videos these days, unless I'm wearing a bright lip. If I'm wearing a nude, chances are it's this. So this is how much is left. It's a really beautiful sort of orangey peachy nude. I love it. I think it's a great color and it really suits the makeup I've been wearing lately, but I don't know if I've made heaps of progress. I feel like I have, but I don't know. It looks like there's still heaps there. Now, I have been using this lip gloss so much, but I'm starting to see little holes around the side. So if you scrape it, you can start seeing that there's like, it's starting to empty. I'm very proud of myself. It's starting to empty, guys. I don't know if you can see that, but I've been using it a lot. So this is the month where I've been probably using this the most. Now, this is a Colourpop lip gloss in the shade Fairy Floss, and it is a little bit too light for me normally, but what I tend to do is I put the Lippie stick on, which is in the shade Hotline, and because it's very matte, what I tend to do is not smother lip gloss over the top because then it looks too much, but I'll just sort of put it there. So when I do that, it just gives a little bit of gloss. It doesn't, because I find if I put too much gloss, it sort of looks like it's caking up on my lips and it's not a very good look. It looks over the top. So I found that if I just put a little bit, it works. And then what I tend to do throughout the day is I'll touch up with this. So I won't go back to the lipstick. I'll just keep touching up with this. And because I've got a little bit of lipstick on that is like a little bit deeper than my normal lip color, this lip gloss works really well with it because normally this is a little bit light on my normal lips. It's actually lighter than the color of my lips, but with a little bit of lipstick, it works great. So I've been reaching for this a lot and touching up with it a lot. So I'm really curious that this is the moment of truth. If I use it a lot, how much do I use up in a month? So last month check-in was 24.7 grams and it's now at 24.03. So Not quite a full gram, which is crazy because I've been using it so much, but I do know these products only contain about 3 mils of product, I think, or 3 point something mils of product. So if a mil is roughly a gram, then I've used just under a third of it in this last month. So I feel like if I keep going the way I've been going over the next month or two, this will be done, which is great. But it's been a nice experience once I've sort of learned to use it properly. When I was using it on its own, I'm like, I don't like this, it's too light. But with a little bit of lipstick, it's a beautiful product. All right, now it's time to talk about the fragrance that's been in my project pan all year. I can't wait to use this up. I'm just putting it out there. So Daisy by Marc Jacobs, it's down to there. So there's a tiny bit left. I'll have a photo of the screen where it was at before. I feel like it was not that much higher, but I don't know if that's the case. I sort of feel like it was maybe halfway between the Marc Jacobs and the bottom. I don't know if that's from memory. I don't know. I'm really trying. I've been using this a lot more than, well, I'm using a lot more of it than I used to. So I'd use this every day, but then I'd only use a little bit of it because I find it quite strong. But lately I've been using a lot more of it, and to sort of take down the strong scent, I'll spray it with a fresher scent. So I've been using more and then another fragrance to go with it. Sounds a bit weird, but yes, I've been ODing on fragrance. It is what it is. But I'm really hoping to get this done by next check-in, because next check-in is the refresh. I want this done. I want to focus on a new fragrance. So hopefully that happens. All right, some of the next products I'm going to talk about, I feel like they're lifer products. They're going to be in my project pan all goddamn year. One of them is my MAC Soft and Gentle. I still haven't hit pan. I have been using this a lot. Hopefully you can see the dent in there. It almost is starting to look like it's got a donut shape going on. So I use it every day. I'm using it today. I'm using it tomorrow. I used it the day before yesterday. I used it yesterday. I use it all the fucking time. No, I really enjoy this highlighter, but I do want to start seeing it hit pan. What I might do if I don't hit pan by next check-in, because it is a refresh, I might actually take a break from this and see if I can focus on making some progress on another highlighter, because I've got so many of them. But I do really love this, and even if I finish this, I'd probably repurchase it. So I don't want it gone from my collection. I just want to get a lot more use out of it, which I think I clearly have done, if you can see the sort of donut, but I don't know if you can see. There's a dent in there. All right, NARS Kalahari Duo. Look, I have made a dent. It looks like I've just smushed my finger in there. I've been using it a bit. I'm sort of feeling like I should hit pan on this shade sometime soon. To be honest, in the last month, I haven't used this too much because I've been doing so many eyeshadow reviews, which is what I'm doing right now. But yeah, so I think maybe in June, I'll use it a lot more when I'm not doing so many eyeshadow palette reviews. I think in May I did, I don't know, I at least did 6 eyeshadow palette reviews, I think. Anyway, so I was mainly using this on the weekends when I was taking a bit of a break from my eyeshadow reviews, and I do like it. I do like this color in particular, and I have been layering that over the top of that Laura Mercier stick. It's just I haven't had an opportunity with the reviews to use that enough to see like heaps of progress. All right, MAC blush. I love this blush. So this is in Melba. It's a matte blush. Oh, I just dug my finger in it. There's barely any, I don't know. I think last time when I spoke about it, I said that the pattern design, like the fabric press design, has started wearing off. Now I can't see any of it, but I'm getting no dent in it. I use this every day. I'm using this today. It's a really beautiful blush. And once again, similar to Soft and Gentle, I don't want this out of my collection. I just want to get a lot more use out of it. But I might move this on in my quarterly refresh to try a different color, because peach is beautiful in autumn. I think in winter, I want something a little bit cooler toned. I don't know. I'll make that decision next month, but there's no real visible difference unless you look really close and you're like, yeah, there's no dent. There's no dent, but I've been using it every day. All right, my skincare item, I wanted this done by next month, and I still really want it done by next month. These are my sheet masks from LuLuLun, and I think there was 42, 36, I don't know, there's a lot in there. And now, I don't know if you can see on the screen, I will have like a photo of where it roughly was from the top. They're really rough. It's hard to tell. It's based on angle. I have used this quite a few times. Once again, it's still not in the routine where I'm using it every other day. I sort of use it maybe once or twice a week max. But what I have started doing, and I've only done this twice, I think, and I'll try to do it a couple more times, is that I will, when I'm wearing one of these, I will put one on my face and I'll put one on my neck and chest. I'll put a photo on the screen. It's quite funny. It's weird, but I sort of feel like that's an area that I want to sort of help out a bit, and sheet masks, you can get some for your neck and chest, so may as well use this on my neck and chest. But still, even doing that, I probably only used maybe 6 masks in total. I probably used them individually twice and then face and neck twice. So I'm just not in the routine of using these masks, and it is getting cold now, so when you do put them on, it's like freezing, and all I want to do is like wear my dressing gown, but you can't because you're wet. So we'll get there eventually. All right, I have been using my gel liner a bit. I've messed it up a bit so you can't really see it as clearly as last check-in, but you know, I have sort of worked down the side. So hopefully you can see that that side has been worked down a lot. It actually does connect to the base, but you know, there's not too much left in there, but still quite a lot for gel liner. I also introduced a pencil liner last month, and I can admit that I think I've only used this like 3 times. I've used it on my waterline. I realized I don't use black too often on my waterline, so this one is a little bit of a hard product to use up. I did use up a green liner before this, and I actually used that a lot more frequently on my waterline than I do black. So I'm going to start trying to use this to tightline, to intensify my gel liner or liquid liner if need be, but this is going to be a difficult one. There's no real point screwing it out and showing it to you compared to last month because you won't see any difference, but I'm going to do it anyway. So that's how much is left in there. And yeah, if I just use this, I don't know, I've got to find a good way to incorporate into my routine, because right now, like, tight lining my top lash line or going over black liner with this just to make it a little bit more intense, it's an extra step that I just don't naturally do in my makeup routine, but I really want to try to use this. Then we got 3D Browtones from Benefit. So I have used this a few times, but not like heaps of times. To the point where I forgot to even take a screenshot of my spreadsheet of where it was up to last time. So on the screen will be a photo of the weight from last check-in, and now it's 19.61 grams. I don't think I've used much. One product that I forgot to update last month, I just totally forgot about it, was my nail treatment. This is the C&D Rescue RX Daily Keratin Treatment, and I sort of use this between doing my nails. Right now, I haven't done my nails for a while, so this would be a perfect opportunity to just keep it next to my computer and apply these, but I had it in a box, so I'm going to do that straight after this. So last check-in, I didn't show this because I forgot to include it, but it was 51.1 grams down from 52.33. So I did use over 1 gram last check-in, which was great. I haven't done as good a job this time. So from 51.1 grams, we're at 50.79. So I haven't used it anywhere near as what I used it last month, but we're getting a little bit of movement on it, which is good. The last product that I haven't really been updating on because I haven't used it much, I've tried to use it a couple of times this month, is this hairspray. It's a do-over dry powder finishing hairspray, so it's supposed to help volumize a little bit. It's from Kevin Murphy. I don't like Kevin Murphy products, I learnt, but we'll see what it's up to. I didn't actually weigh it last month because I don't think I used it at all, but the last time I did weigh it, it was 188.88 grams, and now it's 180.1 grams. So I've used over 8 grams of product of this, but it is a large product. It's got 250 mils, so it's going to take a long time to get through this. It feels like it's sort of halfway done. That's what it feels like. The last thing I wanted to do was introduce a lip liner. Now, I did take out a lip liner at my last quarterly refresh, but this one I have been wanting to include because I've noticed that it's come loose. So this is the Kylie Cosmetics Dolce K lip liner, and I don't mind this color. I think it's a really nice color. It goes with this lip product well as well. But the reason I wanted to introduce it was this has actually come loose, so it comes out. And I thought before it breaks to a point that I can't use it, I may as well try to use it up. And because I am using up nude pencils and this works really well, I'm not wearing it today, but you know, I could wear it today with this look, so I may as well try to incorporate it into my normal sort of nude lip routine that I've been wearing lately because it's broken. All right, that is my update for June. I'm going to have to get crack-a-lackin' on a lot of these products because July will be a quarterly refresh, which is where I can reassess some of the products that I've got in my project pan and decide, okay, am I using this much? Should I swap it out for something else that I will use more? Do I like this blush color for the next season? All those kind of things. So I am going to try to get as many products done before then, so I can sort of start afresh, which will be really great. So that's what the next one's going to be. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.